Who plays the Game of Thrones the most?
You.
No, I don't play the Game of
I'm
Thrones.
joking. Also,
I got to see the first episode yesterday and loved what I got to see, and I also spent the summer reading up on the books, so kind of know where we're heading. How did you guys feel when you realized that this was the show you had been auditioning for? Because if I know it right, nobody knew what they were auditioning for at the beginning, right?
Yeah. I think we both just kind of drank. We just
we basically just we drank a lot, and then
called our mothers.
And then called our mothers.
That was kind of it.
And that was kind of about it.
Because we couldn't tell anyone, so it was kind of like you had to celebrate.
You could tell your mum only because she's sworn to secrecy.
She's your mum.
She's your mum. You hope.
Yeah.
You hope she's not like calling all her mates. She's like, guess what?
Something my mum.
Spoilers, season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a from watching Game of Thrones, we've seen Daenerys ride the dragons and do her Dracarys thing. How did it feel for you to take those words into your own mouth? And it's epic.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It felt epic. It felt very epic. It felt like, oh, this is Game of Thrones. There was something really exciting about that.
One of our friends in the show, she did an interview and she said, my character doesn't play the Game of Thrones. She said that in an interview. Fabien said that. My character doesn't play the Game of Thrones. Fabien.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you agree though?
With Fia's character not playing the Game of Thrones? I don't know. Who plays the Game of Thrones the most?
You.
No, I don't play the Game of Thrones.
I'm joking. Also,
have you seen the episode yet? Because the first episode yet? Because when you were shooting it, I guess you were looking at that tennis ball while saying those epic words. So how did it compare to remember what happened actually on set, and then to see all the things that have gone into the making of the show afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when you're having to act alongside something that isn't real, you kind of get to really indulge in your imagination. So I just had to rely on that. Doing that scene, I couldn't look at the tennis ball and be like, oh, this is a dragon. But I think what was really special is that, like, when I got to watch the first episode, I was like, oh my God, this has exceeded all of my expectations of what I thought this could look like. And I mean, it's beautiful, and the VFX team are incredible, and they are as much, as a part of the show as we are.
Yeah. So I know we have only a little bit of time left, but I wanted to ask about the tournament. How much of that were you able to do by yourself? Because you do have a helmet on, so I guess you could use a stunt double. But did you want to do a lot of it yourself?
I'll tell you, I actually did most of the fight. I did pretty much all the fight on my own with Matt, and then but I will admit that the jousting scenes, as much as I wanted to feel like Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale, I was on the side biting my nails with anxiety that one of the stuntmen was going to fall off their horse. But I did as much as I could. It was great. Matt and I rehearsed it a ton. So yeah, it was like one of the first days I shot with Matt, actually.
Right. It looked great. So.
Oh, good. Thanks. Oh, thank you.
All right. So we're out of time, but I really wish you all the best with the premiere, and hope we get to speak again sometime soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Right back at you. Bye.
Bye.
I know. Look, I couldn't be asked personally. I was like,
Hi guys.
Hello.
So how are you? It's been a long day.
How are you? No, we just sort of started.
Yeah.
All right.
We just started.
All right. So I watched the first episode yesterday, and I also spent the summer reading the book, so I kind of know where we're heading. How did you guys? How did you work with your scenes that you get to spend together to kind of put the things where they need to be? Did you talk amongst yourself about how you wanted to have that chemistry play out?
I love that.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, I love it too. It's so nice. And we did talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, a lot. What was really good actually, Miguel, our director, Miguel Sapochnik, he made Emma and I work on and say out loud and act out the scenes in which our younger selves they play.
Yeah. So you were able to see those before you started playing the.
Yeah, we did. But we had rehearsal time.
Yeah.
Kind of really we hadn't started shooting yet. So we had some of that really unpressured time to play. And we got to play some of the scenes from when from earlier in the series, our younger characters.
Yes.
And just feel some of that like teenage, erotic, complicated energy. I mean, they start out as sort of quasi siblings. So it was just nice. We got to live in that for a little bit before we took the story forward.
Yeah, sort of create memories to set our older characters up.
It's so moving.
Sort of create memories. I can't. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Emma can answer everything.
No, you're doing great. So there's obviously a need and a wanting for everyone in this show to be in charge of that mysterious throne, the Iron Throne. Why do you think everyone wants to sit there and wield it?
I know, like I couldn't be asked personally. I was like,
I think it's loads of things, right? It's like power, legacy, mortality, like leadership. It's about future building. It's about history,
tradition.
Tradition. I mean, I think those are sort of the themes of the show, and the throne becomes an emblem of kind of all of those questions and desires.
Yeah. Oh, it's an effort.
Yeah. So you Emma, you actually get to ride the dragon as well, and I was wondering how that experience was for you to and to see that actually when you get to see how it actually will look afterwards, because I guess it looks kind of weird when you're actually on top of that buck thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen what it actually looks like when you add the dragon in. Anyway, the buck is probably as much fun as I had in 10 months. The buck is great. The buck is
great. Thanks.
The buck is it's like a theme park ride, honestly, and you are supposed to act at the same time, and that's the bit that I found challenging.
Not to smile.
Not to smile. No, you're right. Yeah. No, I had to manually wipe this grin off my face, because
so that's why Olivia didn't get to go on then.
Yeah.
No poker face. Rather. Yeah.
No, it's excellent, and it's really playful, and it's imaginative. It kind of reminded me of I don't know, like pretending you push bikes a horse as a child. It's that sort of energy. I had a great day.
All right. So unfortunately we are out of time, but I really liked talking to you, and I hope we will get the chance to speak more next season if we get one.
So good.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Are you kidding? If I told them that, I wouldn't be here now. No, and the thing is, the seasickness thing is something that sort of crept up on me.
Great. So, hi guys.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with the both of you. I spent my summer reading up on the books, and I'm really looking forward to what I'm going to get to see with your two characters in particular. So, how was it to get this your parts and to get to move into this world for a time?
How was it?
Yes, how was it?
Well, it was an intense audition process that had to be, for in my sake, had to be conducted all by FaceTime or by Zoom, because
This.
Yes, exactly. No, nothing in person anymore. And then because I was in Italy and the guys were in, I think they were in LA and then they were in London. But anyway, we couldn't meet in person. And also it was shrouded in mystery.
Yes.
Because there were my agent rang up and said, this amazing thing has come up, but there was no name for it. The scripts that we were sent I was only sent like a small scene that was only had all the names had been changed. It wasn't even from
this, right.
It wasn't even from this show.
No.
It was a piece of writing from the original Game of Thrones,
Right.
which had also been heavily disguised with different names and everything. So you had to audition. I had to audition for that first, send a tape for that, and then when that went past the test, then had to re-audition for another one with the real script this time, but still the names were changed. Everything was. It was just very mysterious, the whole thing. Eventually got to meet with Ryan and Miguel on Zoom. And yeah, that was cool meeting them actually. And they were inspiring about the show and able to share a bit more information, which was good.
My process was almost exactly the same, except that I did actually get to have one meeting with them in person.
So jealous.
All right.
I know, yeah. But you meet, they're lovely guys, so you meet them and you like them, and just like with you, that was when they started to reveal a bit more about what the actual project was, because for an awful lot of it, you were just going in blind, going, well, it seems good, and there's an awful lot of people involved in it, so it must be something. And then finally, you're told what it is, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, I'm glad you told me that now.
Yeah.
And not,
No, it wasn't Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. So I know, Steve, that you're actually easily get seasick, and you're playing like this captain, like the greatest there ever was. So how did you stomach that? Did you tell them about that when they offered you?
Are you kidding? If I told them that, I wouldn't be here now. No, and the thing is, the seasickness thing is something that sort of crept up on me. I never used to.
Funny.
But the last couple of times they've been on a boat, I've just been like, oh gosh. But no, I kept that quiet until I had signed on the dotted line, and then it's too late, you've got me now. But I have a feeling it'll be fine. I'm sure there are ways around it.
You're going to have to do a lot of filming on boats.
I know.
You got away with it for the first season. There wasn't really much filming on a single boat. I think he had to stand and look at the sea, but he never had to go on the boat.
Exactly.
They're going
Each day was like,
if there's another season, they're going to screw you over so badly.
I know. It'll be a challenge.
And Eve, how are you with flying?
Okay, so for me, happy, very happy indeed.
Yeah. So that must be very strange to be strapped on that the buck, you call it, right?
It's kind of weird. I mean, they said you're going to fly on a dragon, and listen, I'm not. Everybody, because quite a few of us have to fly on dragons, and we got my go was quite at the end of the shoot, and I was really tired by then. I was really in a bad mood. We had a lot of scenes that still hadn't been shot. I was feeling very stressed, and I really didn't feel like today was the day that I wanted to get on this bucking bronco and be sort of thrown around, have wind poured in my face, be kind of strapped in, and it was. And also, I'm not very good with. Actually, I shouldn't admit this, having laughed at you. I'm not very good at roller coaster rides. I do. They make me feel a bit sick. In fact, I never go on them because I'm a little bit frightened. So everyone kept saying this is like a bucking bronco, and I just thought this is not going to be good for me. I want to get off. But actually, it turned out to be quite fun, and I kind of wanted it to go faster.
Wow.
I'm happy to hear that.
Do a little bit more. It was actually rather sedate.
They're going to make a note of that for if we get another season.
Yeah.
I hope you will. So must thank you for your time. Unfortunately, we're all out of it, but I hope we get to speak again
Lovely to speak
next
to you.
season.
Okay,
Yay.
thank you.
Thank you very
And I
much.
think mine was the most expensive wig, darling.
No, it wasn't.
That's what I was told.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what
So
they
I
say
just-
to all the girls.
Yeah. So I wore it well.
All right, hi guys.
Hello.
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
Sounds good. So I've actually seen the first episode and I read the books over the summer. So I'm feeling really happy about what I've seen so far.
You're trying ready, are you?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I did. So I know that there's been this thing about the wigs. So how has it been being transformed into Targaryens?
What's this thing about the wigs? I don't know. What is it?
I don't know.
What thing?
I think Matt is not very happy about them.
Oh, right, yeah. No, I mean, look, it looks good, which is, well, you know, it looks Targaryen, which is the main thing. But no, I'm a bit of a grump when I'm putting it on. It's just because I can't sit still and trying to be still for an hour every day.
Tell me about it.
I find it's
Yeah.
hard work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so I'm a bit grumpy about having to put it on, but there are worse crosses to bear.
I'm not. I thought it was fabulous. I thought
And
it was
actually,
lovely.
he had way more to do than me. Like, he was always going through really long makeup changes. But you're quite zen about that, aren't you?
I wouldn't say that.
You
Matt.
are, mate. Compared to me, you are.
I just had a good team around me, and
Yeah.
you know, it was good. Yeah. You know.
Just watch videos. And
But I loved the, you know, I'm not saying I like having putting a wig on every day because, you know, but, you know, I like sort of even, you know, checking it out. My hair was made from the same palette as Daenerys' hair. And I think mine was the most expensive wig, darling.
No, it wasn't.
That's what I was told,
Oh,
yeah.
that's what
So
they
I
say
just-
to all the girls.
Yeah, so I wore it well.
Well, you wore the most expensive wig, but your colleague flew one of the maybe most expensive dragons, right?
wow, the best dragon.
So how was it to straddle? So how was it to straddle the dragon, the back?
Yeah,
It's good. You know, you're sort of raised on a big plinth, and it's not like you're on a big remote control sort of car, really, in many respects. And then they fire a load of wind and rain at you, and it's
And a
a
lot of
good laugh.
Nerf bullets
I
and
know,
shit
that's
like
it, like
that.
I'd love a Nerf gun.
So did you at any time say it's Morbin time? While
No, I
running?
actually didn't even know what that meant until yesterday
Well,
at the panel, because I'm not on the internet, so I had no
It's
idea.
what time?
It's Morbin time. Apparently, it's a meme, isn't it?
it's a meme. Yeah, I didn't know
Film that I was in.
very recently what it was either,
Well, yeah.
but it's
Oh,
huge.
is it a line from one of your films?
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not even in the film. I mean, I still don't fully understand it, but the guy said it at the panel, and I didn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's about someone else, but
Yeah.
meme, isn't
So
it?
it's a huge thing from the fans of your movie Morbius,
You can call it.
and it's not even in the movie, but
Right.
it just became this huge thing anyway.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What do you think about all the comparisons that will become with this show compared to the show that came before, but is actually taking place after?
I don't feel a lot of anything, man. I've done my job. You know, there's nothing more I can do about it. I'm not going to lose sleep worrying about it. I think it's a great story, and I played the character to the best of my ability, and there's nothing more I can't take that on. It's my responsibility was to play Viserys, and that's what I've done. You know, I appreciate. I just think it's great that people are still even interested in it, and it's a massive world, and you know, it's a great phenomena. But I can't personally take that on. You know, it's a show all on its own. I just hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, I think we've tried.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. We've tried to do something. Whilst it's in the same palette and the same world, it's a new set of actors, it's a new story, and we're trying to make something original.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for your time,
Hey.
and best of luck with the premiere. And I hope
That was
the rest of the
great.
fans will love it as well.
Have a good day.
the world of House of the Dragon is a world of shadows, and that's what makes it so interesting and dramatic and engaging.
Hi, Graham.
Hello. Hi.
It's obviously an honor to be able to speak with you. I've seen the first episode, and I also read the books over the summer, so I know where we're heading. But I wanted to ask you, actually, since you dabbled in fantasy before, you've done the Hobbit with the Hobbit movies with Peter Jackson and the Witcher series as well now, and now this. Is there anything that you feel that ties all of them together while being on set, or does it feel like any other set you step on?
No, well, candlelight. Yes, candlelight ties them all together. Candlelight, cloaks, swords, horses. Yeah, I'm never far from any of those. It's not exactly how I imagined things, but I'm really enjoying it. But when you go on a set like this, well, especially some of the sets on House of the Dragon, you can't help but be impressed by the sheer scale of them. I mean, these are big worlds that are being established. Multiple characters, multiple storylines, intersecting storylines. It's not a courtroom drama, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And in that way, I mean, they're fiendishly difficult to get right, I think, for that very reason. You know, you have to be spinning many plates with these sort of shows. But it's a testimony to people like Ryan and Miguel that they've actually succeeded so well with this, because there were some huge challenges making a show like House of the Dragon. Logistically, you know, we were making it obviously during COVID, et cetera, but everybody pulled together, and it really shows, I think, that teamwork that's so important on any film set, but particularly on something like this, that it really worked. Yeah.
I was also wondering, since I read the books, it's more like a history book, not that much of dialogue and even different perspectives to what happens. Did you only use the writing from Ryan, or did you go to the books as well and try to find your character's inner being? I
mean, I've now done a lot of different productions that have had source material that are either novels, or in the case of Preacher was a comic book. And I try, while I read them, I really take my guidance and inspiration from the scripts and from people like Ryan and from Miguel, and the conversations that you have with them, because while you do have a responsibility, definitely, with this sort of thing, to honor the legacy that's been created, you also have to make them your own. And in that sense, you sort of have to not throw them away, but you need to be able to take on a character like Sir Harold Westerling, for instance, and just say, well, this is how I'm going to do it. It might not exactly be how you would like it, but this is how I'm going to do it. And it was the same with Dougal Mackenzie and Outlander, with Dwalin and The Hobbit, and any others that I've been involved in, The Witcher, etc. They are shows that need to live. They're not dead things. So you approach them in that way.
So if you had to choose to spend your own life in a candlelit environment, which one of these fantasy shows would you like to experience for yourself in real life, if you had to choose?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, the thing about, for instance, something like The Hobbit, you know very clearly who your enemies are. You know,
that's true.
They are orcs. That's it. There are trolls. And all that. They're very easily identifiable. The tricky thing about shows like this is that it's not easy to see who your enemies are. And someone who may appear to be your friend may turn out to be the opposite. So I would personally rather live in a world where you know who your enemies are than one where you don't. But, you know, that's the world of House of the Dragon is a world of shadows, And that's what makes it so interesting and dramatic and engaging.
All right.
It's always interesting.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we are out of time. But thanks a lot for your answers, and
No,
best of
okay.
luck with the premiere now.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Made you be able to make this show even better with all the knowledge you had from before?
Don't fuck it up.
Hi guys, a pleasure being able to speak with you, and I hope you're feeling okay, Miguel. I heard about the nasty
About the
COVID.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. If I usually don't sound this husky, I should really keep it. It's a
good character trait.
Yeah.
So I spent the summer reading the books, and I got to watch the first episode yesterday, and really happy with what I've seen so far. I wanted to know how you decided on, like, the books cover 3 different perspectives most of the time, and you have to fill in the blanks with a lot of things. How was that work for you to decide on where you wanted to go, and what did George think about your choices?
I mean, in that way, I think that's what makes it an incredibly challenging adaptation, but also I think very creatively rewarding one, because of the way the book was written, as a
fill in the blanks.
Yeah, fake history, exactly. You're painting in the lines. I think, George gives you the dots around the picture, so you can see the skeleton of the whole thing, but he doesn't give you all of the details that you need to know how a certain thing was done, or how a key decision was decided upon. Or they're even better, because the way the book is written, there are many conflicting accounts as to how that history happened. So that gives the adapters a lot of leeway, good leeway, I think, in terms of allowing them to decide what the objective truth was, the objective truth that we want to present, the POV within this show. Yeah. So I know Game of Thrones people are obviously going to compare the 2 shows. They are very different and take place in completely different circumstances. But I also know that George wanted the Game of Thrones series to last for 10 seasons, and it only lasted for 8. Did he have a number in mind for this show, and are you going to try to honor that? Do you feel like you have the same kind of vision this time around, season wise?
I think that every story has a particular kind of length, and you can feel when you're coming to the end of it. This is a story which very much feels like a 3-act structure, so you can interpret what you will from that. And really, we just need to stay true to the story. That's the most important thing. It's the Titanic, right? You know what's going to happen. It's just, are you going to have fun watching how it happens? So I think that the main thing was trying to make sure that we're honoring the books, and at the same time we are allowing for the evolution of it as it is turned into a television show, which is obviously a visual medium, not a literary one.
Yeah. And Miguel, you directed some of the most exquisite Game of Thrones episodes, and you directed the first one of this show, and I know there's 2 more coming. What did you learn on the previous show that made you be able to make this show even better with all the knowledge you had from before?
Don't fuck it up.
Don't spend a year in night shoots either. Maybe.
No, don't do that. Definitely don't do that. We avoided night shoots. We really made a concerted decision that there were going to be a minimum amount of night shoots on this particular one.
I promised Miguel this show was interior day. That was how I convinced him to come along.
Yeah. I think the big thing is that there's a lot to bring across from the original show into this one, but really is not to get too caught up in the old show and just to kind of enjoy this one for what it is. And we've been very careful to remain respectful of the old show, and in that I think naturally it evolves into something else. And that's in practices as well. That's just like the way you make the show. We approached it from a similar vein, and I think it shows in the, you know, you've seen the pilot, right? I think in the pilot feels like Game of Thrones.
It does in a way.
Yeah, it's just different. It's like this, but just oh, excuse me.
Yeah. No worries. So that's kind of the buzzer, because we're actually out of time. But I really hope we do get to speak again in a few years now with following seasons. So best of luck with the premiere, and I hope everyone loves it.
Thank you,
Jonathan. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Best of luck. Bye.